Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And here we are on the start of a new week, and I have to tell you folks, I am still on cloud nine from the weekend. The folks in Nutley, New Jersey, showing me and my family nothing but love, a full house at an event for special needs children. Thank you to the lead organizer, Lisa. Lisa is a phenomenal woman, an absolute rock star, and just a great American. And thank you to John as well. John, a local businessman, a retired law enforcement in the community of Nutley, New Jersey, and his daughter, Gianna, a really great speaker. She has her master's degree and works with special needs children in North Carolina, Hoboken Mary. The snow didn't stop Hoboken Mary. It didn't stop the crowd. Even the Nutley police director showed up, and it was just a great day for everyone. Again, thank you so much, folks. Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach me this hour, 800-848-9222. King Day, a national holiday, which I think my point of view is a little different than what the mainstream view is. I view King Day as one that is collective for all Americans. Not one group, not pitting one group against the other, a collective day for all Americans. After all, so many different groups played a role, a major role, with civil rights, Jewish Americans, white Americans. And with that in mind, a collective day for all Americans, I will continue my conversation that we started last night with a female CEO of a major New York City hospital, Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx, New York. But that is coming up at the bottom of the hour. Starting this way, I've been telling you folks for over a year that Don Lemon is unhinged. He's a mental case, and he's always been a legend in his own mind. Never very talented at all. And Don Lemon, formerly now of CNN, think about this for a second, folks. CNN gave this nut job a live television show from 10 to 11 p.m. Just think about that for a second. I think it was from 10 to 11 p.m. And the fact of the matter is, Don Lemon should be arrested, as the Department of Justice has put Lemon on notice over joining that anti-ICE mob that stormed a church. What are we coming to? This is not civil disobedience, storming a church. There are some things that are simply untouchable. And during a service to storm in, it's absolutely horrible, chanting the name of Renee Good. And you lose any momentum, any respect from people that are trying to be objective and looking at this process. So Lemon has been put on notice by the Justice Department over the allegations that he joined the mob that stormed the church in St. Paul yesterday. And you'll hear from the Civil Rights Division person of the Trump administration in just a moment. And she wrote that you are on notice. And so Lemon is in hot water because, one, as this group was barging into the church, Don Lemon, don't play the ignorant game now. How did you know they were going in there, Don? How did you know where exactly to be at exactly the right time? Because you were part of it and because they gave you a heads up. That's how. And so he burst into or went into the church with the agitators as the protests broke out and began filming the uproar. And so I want you to hear what this actually sounded like, what it sounded like yesterday. St. Paul, Minnesota, people in the middle of church service, and this is what happened. And so now they're walking in, the protesters on each side, and they are about to act a fool.
Renee good! Renee good! Renee good! Renee good! Renee good!
Now the pastor is standing before the congregation, and this is what they're doing. They walk to the front of the church.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are your people? Why are you not at Whipple every day fighting for the humanity, standing for our people? Where are you? You drink your coffee, you got your jewelry, you have your nice clothes, but what do you do? What do you do to stand for your Somali and Latino communities? I'm not going to comment. You have no comment. Exactly. Renee, good.
And so, why did they do this? Apparently because they had received word that the pastor or someone on the church staff works for ICE. 800-848-9222. So a reasonable man, so somehow Don Lemon is able to time it out perfectly. And by the way, Don Lemon, if you're such a real journalist, why did you have private security with you? I'm just pointing that out. One. So Don Lemon starts interviewing this man, and the man is very reasonable. The man is giving both sides of the argument of how the Trump administration is trying to clean up the mess of the Biden administration. I want you to listen to this exchange between Don Lemon and this man, and ultimately the man walked away from Don Lemon and said, "You're not a journalist," and walked out of the church, and Don Lemon kept coming up behind him.
At the same time, these are what are called targeted interventions by ICE to keep the American people safe.
If I respectfully may interject here, I've been out reporting on a lot of these, and they're not targeted. There are no warrants signed by a judge, let me finish. And they're American citizens, many of them. Most of the people that they detain don't have criminal convictions or criminal records.
I'm not going to get into the weeds.
But you should know that, though. Don't you think that's part of it?
Yes, and I could also show you many opposing sides where we're also picking up the very criminals that have put Americans in danger. And I'm not saying it's pretty. I'm not saying it's not messy. I'm not saying it couldn't be better. I'm saying this is a part of a much larger dialogue in which one administration caused a great deal of chaos and havoc and danger for American citizens, and another is trying to correct that.
Do you believe that? Why honestly,
okay.
Let me talk to you just on the facts. Yes, I am. I want to give you the facts.
No.
Did you know that undocumented people and immigrants commit far less crime than American citizens?
We're done here. We're done here.
Than natural-born Americans? You won't listen.
If you could ask,
I'm giving you the facts. It is.
Give me facts. I would have a conversation.
But I can respond to you.
No,
did Jesus stand with the oppressed?
Because he doesn't want to listen to facts. That's the interesting thing about this, is that they won't listen to facts.
No.
You won't, because
when you pose as a journalist,
I am a journalist. Journalists give facts.
And then you start correcting me with facts and don't have.
You shouldn't hear the facts.
Of course, I should hear the facts. Most of the people who are picked up are not. Give me the facts on both sides.
That is the facts on both sides.
Now, does that sound like an objective journalist? Don Lemon was part of the group agitating these folks that were just trying to attend church on a Sunday morning in St. Paul. And this is despicable because they're trying to turn up the temperature. This is not new. These fools are just new to the game. And places like New York City, those of us that are real journalists, Don Lemon, fake journalists, and folks, I've always said this, and it may sound a little arrogant. Don Lemon has always been a very bad copy of me, period. I can't be any more direct than that. And what they're trying to do in cities like New York, it was, I think the year was 1987. It was called Days of Outrage, in which they would, Sonny Carson and company, all of these folks are now dead. They would go stand in the middle of the subway track and shut down the subway system. And they would go to every major artery, but even they did not interrupt church service, on Sundays. Even these folks. And so I'm going to start in a moment with your telephone calls, but I want you to listen to one of the local pastors, Paul Chapman, in terms of how he responded to what happened.
Today in Minneapolis, Minnesota, a group of activists led by Don Lemon stormed a Baptist church by the name of Cities Church during their worship time. They were screaming and chanting, disrupting the singing and the preaching because they suspected an ICE officer may attend the church. This is a violation of what is known as the FACE Act. And not only do we condemn this act, but tonight I want to demand that the Department of Justice investigate what took place in Minneapolis, apprehend those who broke the law, and arrest them accordingly. We must protect religious liberty in this country. As people meet to worship God, they have been given legally the right to enter, to worship, and to leave their place of worship.
And so that's where we stand. We'll get to later the reaction from the Department of Justice. They're warning Don Lemon. Let's start with your telephone calls. Lisa, line 3, Nutley, New Jersey. Lisa, thank you for putting this all together this past weekend.
You are so welcome. And what I want to do is I want to thank you, Marilyn, and your son for coming in. It's very few people that you could reach out to who will say, yes, I want to do this. And nothing stopped us. I mean, you had Judy from Tuxedo, New York, come in this crazy weather. You had Deirdre from Bloomfield, Phil from East Rutherford. You had Nancy from Brick, New Jersey. They came in, and nothing, like you said, stopped them. But, and I hope she's listening, I want to give a special shout out with a special type of newfounded respect for Judith, who stole the show on Friday when people were calling in. When I was doing the meet and greet and they started to come in, the first thing they were talking about was how great Marilyn did on Friday. And then they went right into Judith. And the love, and I hope, Judith, you're hearing me, the love that was sent out to you from the people that were coming in when I was greeting them was unbelievable. And I'm not a crier. I'm more of a warrior and a fighter. Dominic, I think you know that by now.
Yes.
But when I tell you, there were people in the back that were actually making me tear up. That's what a real warrior is. That's what it's all about. That's a real hero. The people who do what Judith does, take care of her grandchild. The new and the up-and-coming kids like Gianna Mancini, John's daughter, to do what she does. For the people who are out there caretaking, for the elderly. You have to have a special kind of compassion and love in your heart to do this, because this is not an easy job. And that's what I want to say to everybody who came out, but especially Judith. Judith, we all love you and we're all supporting you. If you need anything, we are here for you. And Dominic, same with you and your family. Alphonse came out, the Commissioner of Public Safety for Nutley. You had Bobby Ches come out, the boxer. I mean, they sat there, they listened, they talked, and they just love you. They just love all of what you do. So like I said at the end, you are the lighthouse between oceans for a lot of us.
Lisa, I thank you for your call. I thank you for what you do. And let me just say this about Lisa, and I'm 3 minutes late for a break. Lisa is the type of person, she doesn't ask for anything. She just gives and gives and gives and gives. And I can't thank you enough for that, Lisa. Thank you so much. I would continue, but I am so very late for a break. We are coming right back.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
In honor of King Day, coming up at the bottom of the hour, we'll continue my conversation with the female CEO of a major New York City hospital, Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx. She is Dominican, and she's run 3 different hospitals as the CEO. But that's coming up in just a couple of minutes. Right now, we're talking about this clown, Don Lemon. Let's go to line 3, Joe in Lynbrook. Joe, what's on your mind?
Dominic, I'm going to congratulate you. You hit that right on the head. Don Lemon knew about this. He was tipped off. And if anybody else says no, I have a bridge to sell them in Brooklyn.
Well, the way this works is that we're always tipped off, but you have to have some professional responsibility. You don't go in with the protesters, or if you're going to go in, you go before the service starts, so that your hands are clean. You know, he's just despicable, and you know, I can't really say what I really want to say. But I can't believe this guy lasted for a couple of years on television, on CNN. And before that, he was on Fox 5, I believe. This guy is a complete joke. You have the final word before I move on, Joe.
No, Dominic, I'm just saying, you're a real journalist. He is not. And I want to know who organized all this.
Right. Well, clearly he sympathized with them. But there are just certain lines that you can't cross as a journalist. Thank you for the great call, Joe. Let's go to line 5, Carlotta, Rhode Island. What's on your mind?
I'm sorry, Dominic. This is another subject, but I've been thinking ever since this Minnesota swindle came out that maybe that's really the only reason Carlotta chose Walz. Maybe she knew he had access to a limitless amount of money. And
there's no doubt about it. He shattered the records for raising money in one day, the day after he was appointed to the ticket. There's no speculation about that. That's a confirmed fact that he was a money machine. And then the question becomes, where did the money come from? We know where the money came from. It came from the Somalian community. And it was Dumb and Dumber. I'm sorry, Carlotta, I just don't have time because I'm going to toss to a break. But it was Dumb and Dumber. She put him on the ticket. She had no chance. He had no chance. And thus, President Trump, rightfully so, won every single battleground state. Boom! We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And in a few minutes, we're going back to your telephone calls. But here we are on this King Day, a national holiday. And it should be a collective day for all Americans, not one group, not this particular group, for all Americans, people of goodwill that came together to correct a wrong historically, all Americans. And so with that in mind, on Friday, I was at Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx. It's been a busy couple of days for me, and I was part of their King Day celebration. And I had the opportunity, as I mentioned last night, to talk to a remarkable woman, the CEO of Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx. Now, I knew that Lincoln Hospital was busy, but I didn't know that they deal with 168,000 visits each year. And the chief executive officer, her name is Christina Contreras, and she has transformed obstacles into opportunity and she's a proud Dominican woman who started in social work. And she has led not only Lincoln Hospital here in New York City, but also North Central and Metropolitan hospitals. She has been breaking down barriers, and here's the important part, raising standards along the way. And the great honor that I have right now is to talk to the woman that runs all of this. And she is the CEO, Cristina Contreras. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Dominic. It's a pleasure for me.
Of course. No. You have serious credentials in terms of you ran North Central Hospital here in New York City, Metropolitan Hospital, and now you're here at Lincoln Hospital.
Yes.
So let me start this way. The choice of venue. Why was it vital for you, Madam CEO, to hold this conversation here in the heart of the South Bronx? We know that Lincoln Hospital has a rich history, but why was it important to have this here?
Well, like you said, this is an iconic hospital, and it means a lot to have, being that this was the landmark of social justice. Lincoln it was founded first as the first hospital for Black New Yorkers, and our very existence was a protest against a system that denied people care based on the color of the skin. And we represent the opposite. We're here for every New Yorker, regardless of ability to pay, immigrant status. So I think it's important.
So you see that walking through the lobby, you see New Yorkers of all different races. Do you feel a lot of pressure as the CEO of the hospital?
Always. You always feel pressure because it's a responsibility to represent all.
Absolutely. And it's not easy. And the buck stops with you on everything.
Absolutely. And I take every decision that I make, very careful. I always make decisions based on my heart, and I try to always be fair to everyone.
How have you come this far in your career? A CEO, a woman, all of these different hospitals. How have you succeeded when, frankly, so many others fail?
Well, it's about persistence. It's about having a goal, making sure that you take all the necessary steps to obtain your goal. I didn't always dream to be a CEO. That was never in my journey. I have a background in social work, and I always wanted to serve others, help others. And, helping people there's a lot of different ways to help others. So it's not necessarily that I wanted to be a CEO, but I just completed a milestone of 30 years in healthcare.
Wow.
30 years in healthcare, and all I've done is serve people in different capacities. And obviously, because I work so hard and I always dedicate myself to others, I think it's a blessing, and I've been very successful. And God put me here in this capacity to be, I guess, more of an advocate and continue to represent everyone.
Let me be very clear, folks, and very direct. I can spot a phony 4 miles away as they're approaching me. This CEO is the exact opposite of that. She really cares about the community. She really does. And in our conversation, I was caught off guard. And this has happened several times during my career, when people will start crying literally in the interview with me. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened here. And it's because of the passion that she brings to the job. You're a female CEO of a major hospital in New York City. You're a Latina. You are a history maker, whether you acknowledge that or not, in terms of starting out in social work. There's a young girl somewhere, either here in New York or listening around the country. Why are you watering up? You're getting emotional.
No, because it has, it's important what we do.
Wow. And you're starting to sob a little bit, but those are tears of joy and pride.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. You're the real deal. So what do you say, my last question, and I don't mean to get you emotional. What do you say to the young girl that might be listening to you right now that, 10, 11, 9, 10, and here it is, you're a major CEO. What do you say to these young girls coming up?
Oh, I always try to be a mentor. and sponsor of the youth. I actually collaborated, like going back to the collaboration with the community, I collaborated with local colleges. So we have interns and I make sure that we pay them to have an experience so they don't have to choose, because when I was younger, I had to choose. You need a job and you need to do your internship. Here they can do both, right? And the reason I do that is because I like to support the youth. The youth, they need to know that we're there for them.
And so again, that is Christine Contreras. She is the CEO of Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx. They have one of the best trauma centers in the country. And you know what I was thinking about, folks, on this King Day? And we're going right back to your telephone calls in 1 second. I'm going to Judith on line 3. But here's what I was thinking about as I walked into Lincoln. So one, I was very, very nervous because they did a good job taking care of my mother, but that's the hospital where my mother died. And I haven't been back in Lincoln Hospital for many, many years. And frankly, I had planned on possibly never going back there. It's just, it was nothing about Lincoln. It just was the bad experience for me. And so what I thought about as I'm walking in the lobby of Lincoln Hospital, think about this, folks. When you're the CEO, if a hospital police officer gets into it with a patient, the CEO is responsible. Anything that happens in that hospital, the CEO is responsible and will be held responsible by people like me in the media that will hound her. But, you know, she's run 3 hospitals. She's doing very well. And I want to thank her for making time to sit down and talk with us on this King Day. So now let's get back to your telephone calls, 800-848-9222. Judith, line 3, Brooklyn. Judith, what's on your mind?
OMG. Oh, my God. Well, first of all, Dominic, your opening as far as Martin Luther King and how we should look at it as a day of not just for everyone, for all Americans, that gave me goosebumps. And Lisa, she made me cry. So what should I tell you? So I'm calling because, Lisa, I am overwhelmed. I want to thank you for your gracious words. And let me just say this back. These special needs children, all of them, they are God's children. And I was told that God gives them into the care of special mothers. Okay, now my daughter is a special mother, and all of them are. I'm to be one removed. I'm a grandmother, so it was a little bit easier for me. But you're right. It is difficult to raise special needs children. It took me 2.5 years to toilet train him. I went to IEPs with him. I did I did surgeries, whatever. So that's not the point. Nothing is difficult if you have the love in your heart that gives you the strength to carry on and accept and pray. And I tell you something, I'll leave something else. So, Dominic, I want to share something with you. Anyone with special needs, you have a special needs son too. God bless them, and God bless you, and God bless Marilyn, and God bless everybody and everyone with special needs children. All special. Redemption. I feel it's a bit of like redemption for me. Like it's a redeeming quality. In other words, I've had over the past day, wow, you're such a great grandmother. Who does this? Who does that? I said, you know what? And you're holding him up. I said, well, maybe he's holding me up. Maybe he's holding me up.
Wow.
It's a redemption, redeeming things. And God gives you things for a reason and take advantage of it, And you know what? It gives you a great feeling. Certain things you turn around and you say, I'm really proud of what I did. I'm really proud of what I did. Maybe some things I'm not proud of what I did. But when it comes to my grandson, I sure am. And I love him to pieces, and I love all the special needs, and I just love everybody. That's the way it is. And Lisa, I cannot tell you, you just made me bawl. I was just crying. I said, oh my God, it was like so emotional. Thank you very much. And Dominic,
everybody in Nutley, New Jersey on Saturday was asking about you, and people were saying that you touched them, and they were also, you literally stole the show and you were not there. You were not physically present, and you stole the show.
Oh, wow. You know what? I'm a loss of words. Would you believe this? Me, a loss of words?
I find that hard to believe.
I know. Anyway, I want to thank all of you. And Dominic, thank you. Dominic, I want to tell you something.
Oh,
you
boy,
really gave me
go.
fun. No, Dominic, I loved your opening. I loved the way you said we should look at Martin Luther King a certain way. That is the way to look at it. That's the only way to look at it.
Okay, let me put it to you this way, Judith. Did only black people die?
you know what? We're all human beings, and that's the whole idea.
But whites died for civil rights, right? For blacks to have opportunity, correct?
Right. Yes.
Did Jewish Americans die in the battle for civil rights for black people?
Yes, they did.
Absolutely. So, and I'm sure Latinos died as well. I'm sure Asians died somewhere. So it should be collective. It should be about a positive experience for all of us as Americans, not just one group. All of us. So, Judith, thank you for the lovely call. And again, you stole the call. You stole the show on Saturday, and folks were concerned about you crying and so on, but we understand. Let's go to Mary Beth, line 1, Long Island. Mary Beth, what's on your mind? Mary Beth, going once, going twice. Okay.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to say so much love has come through this show today. And Don Lemon should be listening to this because he just brings anger and hatred wherever he goes. I mean, the event that was held on Saturday, all the people who attended, your wife, you, your son, there's so much love there, and you're willing to share it so that others have knowledge and help that they need. And everybody who was involved in that event had so much love to give. The CEO who you interviewed, how much love does she have for her job, for the people that she represents at the hospitals, the families, the young interns? There's a lot of love out there, and it's nice to hear about it because Don Lemon should be ashamed of himself. Where did he get his journalism degree?
I have no idea, but Don Lemon he's openly gay, and he's proud of it, and he should be proud of it. But lately he's been playing to every stereotype that one could make against other people, and it's just horrible. And what he did is a violation of ethics. As a matter of fact, Mary Beth, any reputable journalist, myself included, would be fired on the spot for being involved with insider. And of course, we all want insider information, but you don't get involved in the story like that. You're supposed to, remain neutral. You're just not, he thinks he's a star. He thinks he's a legend in his own mind. I mean, we've all seen people like that, but television is a drug. Radio is a drug. And to be honest with you, because a lot of this stuff can go to your head, and myself included. When I started out, I'm a kid with no father, and then all of a sudden I have more money than I've ever had in my life. And I'm going to nightclubs, and I don't have to stand on line, and me and my entire entourage, we're escorted into the club immediately. All the women know who I am. It's a drug. It really is a drug. And it takes maturity that, it took me a while to get, Mary Beth, but it takes maturity to handle all of this. It is time for a break. Poor Don Lemon, you absolute fool. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. Don Lemon, this is awful. So now Don Lemon says, in response to this group and him being part of it, storming into the church during services yesterday in St. Paul, Don Lemon says he's being targeted because he is a gay black man. What does that have to do with what you did in St. Paul yesterday? Gay black man. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Let's go to John in New Jersey. Line 1. John, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic. Good to talk to you again, buddy. Don Lemon. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes, bro, because God will not be mocked, and vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I've seen people do stuff like this.
You know what, John? You're the phone call of the hour. I didn't even consider that aspect. I'm looking at the legal consequences. You're correct. forget the legal consequences. There's a higher order to deal with here. Go ahead, John.
Amen. And I've seen people mock God, and I tell you what, we don't have to do anything but sit back and watch. You watch what happens to Don Lemon.
Well, he's already having a nervous breakdown. I mean, you would think he would have learned his lesson when he survived that gay sexual harassment suit. You would think that he learned his lesson then. But he wants to be a star at all costs. And the man just has no talent. It's as simple as that. Let's go to Vinny, line 3, Nutley, New Jersey. Vinny, what's on your mind?
Dominic, man, what did we have a time of our lives Saturday, me and my wife, Stella.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, Vinny. So you were there and you had fun.
I told you I listened to you every day from 3 to 4.
Now I remember you, Vinny. Yes, now I remember. Okay. So you guys had fun. What made you come out in the snow?
I live in Nutley. I'm only 2 miles away.
Yeah, but it was snowing, man. I was concerned, but people came from all over.
What's really funny is there was a lady going in, and she goes, I got to move my car. I'm parked in the back. I'm not supposed to be there. I said, well, let me help you. She goes, you know who I am? She goes, I said, no. She goes, Hoboken Mary. I said, well, I know the name. And I walked her in. I pulled her car around. And I think I just missed her call 3 hours ago. First time I meet her, we're already best friends.
Wow. I need to find out what's in her genes in terms of, her make, because I think she's 83 or 84, and the lady's quick as a whip. She's gorgeous. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But Vinny, I'm so glad you were there, and thank you so much for being part of the group. Let's see here. Let's go to Joe in Riverhead, line 1. Joe, what's on your mind?
Yeah, Dominic, I just heard you say that he should be proud of being a gay man. He should be proud of that. What happened to my right to be a proud heterosexual?
So who says, Joe? You're exposing a bit of bias that you have. Why can't you be a proud straight man and he be a proud gay man? Why can't we have both? Are you listening to yourself?
No, it's not about. But why do we have to expose being a gay man as being?
Wait a minute. I'm not into bigotry. Don Lemon is a fool, but he can't be proud because he's gay. Are you listening to yourself?
He has the right to be gay.
Wait a minute. If your son, just for sake of argument, if your son is gay, your son wouldn't have a right to be proud if he's gay?
He certainly does. But
so why would you say that then?
Certainly doesn't trump the right that I have.
Who said
to be heterosexual?
Okay, Joe. Something. I think you need a little break. Maybe you need to take a nap. So because you're a proud gay man, you're saying that's an insult to a proud straight man?
Not at all.
Okay, so what are you saying?
You can be proud, but you don't have to exercise that right to be. You don't have to exercise that right to make me feel bad to be a heterosexual.
So wait a minute. So because he's a proud gay man, that means you don't feel good about yourself? I'm just not feeling it. I'm absolutely not feeling it, Joe.
Dominic is done with you.
Folks, help America to never forget. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact by donating your car or land. Go to T2T.org.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.